Alright guys, so here we go. Just gonna open up half a case, 6 boxes of the 2017 Diamond King boxes right here. So I got numbers on them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm gonna let's see, so our boxes, first 6 boxes will be 2, 3, 2, 6, or 2, 3, 6, 7, 4, and 9. So leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 boxes. Before we get started, I have a list of everybody's name and team. Let's get further glance. Okay, so we have Jonathan with the Diamondbacks, Terrence with the Braves, Zach with the Orioles, and Ken with the Red Sox, and Terrence with the Cubs, Lawrence White Sox, Kim with the Reds, Troy with the Indians, Jonathan Rockies, Kristen with the Tigers, Jeffrey with the Astros, Kristen with the Royals, Angels, Todd with the Dodgers, Jonathan with the Marlins, Martin with the Brewers, Kristen with the Twins, Stephen with the Mets, Don with the Yankees, Jonathan with the Athletics, Todd with the Phillies, Ken with the Pirates, Kristen with the Padres and Giants, Todd with the Mariners and the Cardinals, Kristen with the Rays and the Rangers, Jonathan with the Jays, and Todd with the Nationals. Which Nationals isn't spelled right. Okay, before we get started, give me just a second. Okay, so let's get this thing started. We'll start 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9. So I'll open up about half of them. So let's begin. Let's see what we have. Good luck to everyone. And Madison Bumgarner with the San Francisco, Ty Cobb, Detroit. Oh no, like what I gave it up. Coda Glover, Washington, Jackie Robinson, Brooklyn Dodgers. And we have a Heritage Collection, Rolly Fingers, Oakland, Chicago, Kyle, and New York, Jim, and Cole Hamill with the Texas Rangers. It's a nice little card right there. It's a game used material. It's a nice little card for the Rangers. Alright, let's move along. That goes to Kristen. Chipper Jones, Atlanta Braves. Freddie Freeman, Atlanta. Hanley Ramirez with Boston. We have Jordan Patterson, Colorado Rockies. Cotton, Oakland. And Pedro Martinez with some original. Boston. Brian Dozier, Minnesota Twins. And Pee Wee Reese with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And Chris Davis with the Oakland A's. Stan with the Cardinals. And Tony with New York. Romaine, Philadelphia Phillies. Pee Wee Reese, Dodgers. And we have a Corey Seager, Los Angeles Dodgers. Josh Donaldson with the Toronto and Chicago, Gabby. And Daniel, let's see, nothing, white cards. Daniel Murphy, Washington. We have John with New York. Eric with Kansas City. Jose Rodon with Padres. And Jones with Detroit. And Ricky Henderson with Oakland. Billy with Chicago. Francisco, Cleveland Indians. Alright, we have Goslin with the Washington, Larry with Cleveland, Kyle Seager with Seattle, Joe with Houston, and Mr. Babe. Nice little card there. It's 41/99, New York, of course. Number 1. And Joey, Cincinnati. Harry with Boston, and Corey Seager with the Dodgers. Let me get these in some penny sleeves real quick, like. Got Mr. Babe covered up. And I'll try to get. Alright, moving along. And Mark from Baltimore. And George with New York. AJ Pollock with Arizona. Got a Rocky card. Bill with the Yankees. Original card here. Rick Porcello, Boston. And New York. Bill. And Joey Votto, Cincinnati. Jay Garrett, Chicago. And Jackie Robinson, Dodgers. And we have, a diamond cut. 16/99 for New York. It's a nice card. New York Mets. 16/99. Gary Carter. It's a nice card. And the rookie, Andrew, Boston. And Stan with St. Louis. Chris Bryant with the Chicago Cubs. Al with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Chuck with the Philadelphia. Let me see. Congrats. So, see the Mets is who? New York Mets. Mets is Steven. Let's see. Yep, New York Mets. Just making sure. And we got Cincinnati, New York, Billy, Charlie Blackmon with the Rockies, David with Houston, Josh Bell at Pittsburgh, and Nellie Fox, 2000 career hit, Chicago. And Max with Pittsburgh, and Carlos Martinez, St. Louis. And we got Ted with Chicago, and another one of the cards. Don Mattingly, New York. Gregory, Pittsburgh. David with Houston. Josh Bell, Pittsburgh. And another Heritage Collection. Oakland. Evan with Tampa Bay. And Nat with Cleveland. We have Ryan with Milwaukee, Paul with Pittsburgh, Carson Kelly, St. Louis, and Makata, Chicago, Trey with Baltimore. Then we have another Heritage Collection card right there of Ozzie Smith, St. Louis, New York, Don Larson, and Jose with Houston. And another white. Justin with Detroit. Lloyd with Pittsburgh. Cole with Texas. And Orlando, Milwaukee. And Alex with St. Louis. And Mr. Nolan Ryan Pitch his 7th career no-hitter. Texas, of course. And Franco with the Philadelphia, and Billy Williams with Chicago. And here we go. Moose with New York. And we have an artist proof right here, which is 89 of 99. Gavin with New York. Chris Sale, Chicago. Orlando, Milwaukee. Mr. Jackie Robinson with Brooklyn. And Grover Alexander, complete game and series opener, Philadelphia. Brooks Robertson, Baltimore. Anthony Rizzo, Chicago. About half of halfway done. Corey with Cleveland. Kiki with Chicago. And Anthony Rendon, Washington. Orlando, Milwaukee. And Swanson, Atlanta. Charlie Blackmon with the Colorado Rockies. Earl with Cleveland, and Craig Biggio right there, Houston. Autograph ball. And we have Carl with Brooklyn, and Andy right here is the number card. New York, C53 of 99, artist proof. It's a nice card. New York. Charlie Blackmon. Rockies, Washington. Ronaldo, Hack, Wilson. Chicago, Ozzie Smith with St. Louis. Joe Jackson, Chicago. Goslin with the Washington. Okay, just moving along. Let me switch these back. And there we go. Paul Goldschmidt with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Grover with Philadelphia Phillies. Jeff Hoffman, Colorado Rockies. Ryan with the Oakland. Chad with the Oakland. Almost identical cards in it. It's quite weird. One thing, no, it's a little different. Very similar. Anyways, moving along. Yeah, we got a Heritage Collection right here. San Francisco, 1. And Billy Williams with Chicago. And Kyle Schwarber with the Chicago. Mike Trout, Los Angeles Angels. Luke with the Chicago. Kyle with Seattle. Mahada, Minnesota. Carlson Fulmer with Chicago. Nelly Fox 2000 career hits. Chicago. Jim with New York. And Brian Dozier, Minnesota. And Nolan Arenado, Rockies. Leo Brooklyn. Aaron Judd, New York card. One of the top rookies of the year. And Joe, another nice rookie. Houston. And we have Charlie Blackmon, Chicago. Not Chicago, Colorado. Cleveland, Larry, Jake Eric, Chicago. And Mr. Mike Trout himself, the Angels, who is and we have, looks like another white card. Franco, Philadelphia. Billy Williams, Chicago. Addison Russell, Chicago. Alex with St. Louis. Glover with Washington. And Corey, Cleveland. Chris Bryant, Chicago. And Herb with the New York. Kyle with Chicago. Pee Wee Reese number card. This 81/99 Brooklyn Dodgers Autos Proof. Trey Turner, Washington. Jordan Patterson with the Colorado Rockies. Carson with the Chicago. John Smoltz with the Braves. It's a Heritage Collection card. Clayton Kershaw with the Dodgers. Kirby Puckett, Minnesota. Will Myers with the Padres. Tommy with New York. Addison Russell, Chicago. Mr. Andrew with Boston. Chris Bryant with Chicago Cubs. Roberto, see, walk off inside the park grand slam. Pittsburgh. Jackie Robinson, Dodgers. Ryan and Milwaukee Brewers. Don with New York. Jose with Houston. Kirby Puckett, Minnesota. Hunter with Kansas City. Jake Thompson with Philadelphia. Mike Trout, Los Angeles Originals. Jake Eric, Chicago. Jacob Robinson, Brooklyn Dodgers. Stephen Piscotty, St. Louis. Heck Williamson, Chicago. Jonathan Villar, Milwaukee. George, Philadelphia. Magat with the Padres. Joey Votto with Cincinnati, Pee Wee Reese for Golden Dodgers, and Josh Donaldson with Toronto. Jim with New York, Brian Dozier with Minnesota, Joe Jackson, Chicago, Cotton, Oakland, Quinn, Philadelphia, Mr. Cobb's 4,189th career hit, Detroit, and Mr. Goldsmith, Arizona Diamondbacks, and Grover Alexander, Philadelphia. Andy with New York, Ernie Banks, Chicago, Trey Turner, Washington, Moncada with the Chicago, Trey with Baltimore, Mike Piazza, Heritage Collection, New York Mets, Paul Wagner, Pittsburgh, and Cole Hamel, Texas Rangers. Lou Garrett, New York, Robinson Cano, Seattle, and Daniel Murphy, Washington Nationals. It's a game used material card, and that will be going to Todd T. Matt Olson with the Oakland. Heritage card, Phil, Narco, Atlanta, Stan with St. Louis, and Ryan with Milwaukee, and Paul with Pittsburgh. Fergie, Chicago, Mookie with Boston, Freddie Freeman, Braves, David with the Rockies, Ernie Banks, Chicago, an original card, Freddie Freeman, Atlanta, and Gabby with Chicago, and Billy Herman with Chicago. Tony with New York, Kurt Schilling is with Boston, JD Martinez with Detroit, and Hernandez with Houston, Mendez with Texas, Ty Cobbs, Detroit, Cole Hamel with Texas, and Harry Walker with St. Louis. Harry Hooper, Boston, Corey Seager with the Dodgers, Jason, Cleveland, Tyler, Pittsburgh. Now we have a nice number card here, Hanini, 64/99, Cincinnati. Another Heritage card, Mike Piazza for New York, Francisco with Cleveland, and Joe Jackson with Chicago. Let me get these in some penny sleeves. Also get this artist proof. Pee Wee Reese. Okay. Louis with Brooklyn. Josh Toronto. Adore with the Texas Rangers. Jose with Padres. Ernie Banks. Chicago. Corey Seager, Los Angeles. Mike Trout, Angels. And Chicago, Luke. And we got Al at Pittsburgh. Chuck, Philadelphia. Austin Bryce with Miami Marlins. Kirby Puckett, Minnesota. And we have Jonathan Villar, Milwaukee. Washington, Cleveland. And Chris Davis. Ooh, that's a nice card. Baltimore. That goes to Zach S. Chris Davis. That is 15 of 15. That's a nice card. Don't think it's gonna fits. So we got that sealed up. Alright. That's a nice little card right there. Alright, we got Pujols, the Angels, Max with Pittsburgh, Nolan with Rockies, Nunez with the Oakland, Corey with Indians, and Robinson, Seattle, St. Louis, Harry, Bill, New York. Carlos, St. Louis. Earl, Cleveland, Texas. Odor, Luke with St. Louis. And Francisco, Cleveland. There's Babe Ruth's 60th home run in 1927, New York. A long time ago. Joey with Cincinnati. Evan with Tampa Bay. So we're almost through with half. Almost through the halfway mark. And have another one of these fancy cards. Gabby with Chicago. Billy with Chicago. Miguel with Detroit. Jones with Detroit. Lopez with Washington. Freddie Freeman, Atlanta. Steven Biscotti with St. Louis and Chicago. Heck Williams. And Francisco with Cleveland. Joe Jackson with Chicago. And Brooks Roberts with Baltimore. Aaron Judd, New York. Kirby Puckett, Minnesota. See, Kirby Puckett again, Minnesota. Fergie with Chicago and Mookie with the Boston Red Sox. Well, let's see. I think we're looking pretty good here. Craig, Houston. Chris Bryant, Chicago. Hunter, Padres. Mike Trout, Angels. And Phil with the Sahara Collection for Atlanta. And Cleveland. And Brooks with Baltimore. And Ozzie Smith autograph card. Oof. 2 of 5. 2 of 5. Jersey Kings, St. Louis. So that's a nice card for Todd T. St. Louis. Ozzie Smith. Might be too thick for me to put that in. No. Yeah, leave it out. And Cole Hamel, Texas. Harry, St. Louis. Cincinnati, we have Jose Peraza. Cincinnati. Another player used material. Cincinnati. It goes to Kim. And Nunez, Oakland. Bill Dickey with New York. And Grover Alexander, Philadelphia. Lou Garrett, New York. And Robson Cano. Okay, well, that's half. So let's do a quick recap on the first half of that half, first quarter. So you got Jose Peraza, Cincinnati. Jersey King, which seems to be our biggest hit so far, 2 of 5. Ozzie Smith, that's a nice card. And Chris Davis, it's another nice one right there. Daniel Murphy, Washington. It's another nice card right there. Gary Carter. Cole Hamel, Texas. That's a pretty nice card as well. 12-15. And a couple of our artist proof, Pee Wee Reese, Gavin, and Andy. Some more numbered cards, 64.99, Cincinnati, and the Babe, 41.99. All right, so halfway through. Okay, so 3 steps. I think I'm gonna open up one of these sacks. go ahead and start this off. And make things a little faster. Cole Hamill, Texas. Harry with St. Louis. Garrett with Pittsburgh. Andrew with Boston. Mikado with Chicago. Have Ozzy, St. Louis. Justin, Detroit. Lloyd with Pittsburgh. Ryan with Milwaukee. Paul with Pittsburgh. AJ with Arizona. Joe with Houston. Andrew, Boston. We have Mike Trout, Angels. Moose, New York. Carl, Brooklyn. Jake, Chicago. Jackie, Brooklyn. And we have Swanson, Atlanta. Ronaldo, Lopez, Washington. Aaron Judd, New York. Al, Detroit. Ted with Chicago. Don with New York. Brooks with Baltimore, yeah. Anthony, Chicago. And our rookie signature, Carson Kelly. That is number 25/49, St. Louis. Who has St. Louis? Oh yeah, Todd. Todd's done hit a few tonight, hasn't he? And Luke, St. Louis. Joe DiMaggio, New York. Pedro, Boston. Davis, Oakland. Stan, St. Louis. Evan, Tampa Bay. Nat, Cleveland. Chris, Baltimore. Nunez, Oakland. I have another number card here, $4.99. Go to Arizona. Mitch. And Luke. 2500. 2500. Career hit. Chicago. Chipper Jones, Atlanta. Freddie Freeman, Atlanta. And Bill, New York. Joey Votto, Cincinnati. Hack with Chicago. Trey with Baltimore. Don, New York. Bruce, Chicago. Madison, San Francisco. Ty Cobb, Detroit. Jim, St. Louis. Babe Ruth, New York. Anthony Rendon, Washington. And Jake, Miami. And let's see. And we have Adam with Cleveland. We have Nolan with the Rockies. Leo with Brooklyn. Will Myers with Padres. Chicago, Nelly. Adrian, Texas. And Mr. Ichiro. It's a nice card, 22/25. Ichiro. And Miami Marlins. That would be Jonathan. It's a nice card. Alex, Houston. Roberto, Pittsburgh. Chicago, Nelly Fox. Carlson with Brooklyn. Nolan with Rockies. Pittsburgh, Wagner. Christian with Miami. And Tommy with New York. Hunter Renfroe, Padres. Jeff Hoffman, Rockies. Catfish, Hunter, Oakland. Daniel Murphy, Washington. John with New York. John Pesky with Boston. Harry with St. Louis. And Mr. Steven with Washington. It's our second half, or the last bit of that first column of cards, column of pack of cards. Carson Kelly of St. Louis, Anthony Rizzo, Cubs, Robinson Cano with the Seattle, Max with the Pirates, Carlson with St. Louis, Roger Maris with New York, Bryce Harper with Washington, Nelson with Seattle, German with the Rockies, Eric with Cleveland, and Jim with Philadelphia, Ernie Banks with Chicago, Albert with the Angels, Joe DiMaggio, New York, Didi with New York, Rodon, no, Odor, Rangers, Robert with New York, Mookie with the Boston. And who do we have here? This is Robin with Milwaukee, and Tommy with New York, and Andy with New York. Okay, so our next column of cards. Maybe we'll get lucky and hit a 101 tonight, huh? We've had a couple good hits so far. I like that Ozzy the best. That's a pretty sweet card. Yeah, we got 2 more packs. Get this out of the way. And here we go to start off with Leo with Brooklyn. That was the number card here, 1699 artist proof. Francisco, Cleveland. AJ Pollock, Arizona. Nunez, Oakland. Babe Ruth, no, sorry. Hackwood, Wilson, Chicago. I have an original Chris Bryant, Chicago Cubs. Joe DiMaggio, New York. And Didi with New York. And we'll grab me a little handful. Okay. Carlson with Brooklyn. Nolan with the Rockies. His buddy Carlos, Rockies. Mikado with the Cubs. Trey with Baltimore. Charlie Blackman, Rockies. Jim, St. Louis. Babe with New York. Daniel with Washington. John with New York. Andy with New York. Andrew with Boston. Pee Wee with the Dodgers. And Ty Cobbs, Detroit. Nellie Fox, Chicago. Adrian Beltres, Texas. Chris Davis, Oakland. Stan with St. Louis. Chris Sale, Chicago. Aaron Judd, New York. Joe with Houston. Heritage, Rick Henderson, Oakland. Wagner, Pittsburgh. Christian, Miami. Justin Verlander, Detroit. And Lloyd, Pittsburgh. And signature from Jose, Chicago. 1 of 15. Man, there's some nice cards in there. Man, Chicago White Sox goes to Lawrence. Alright. Roman, Philadelphia. Bill, New York. Phil, Atlanta. Bill, New York. Joey, Cincinnati. Moose, New York. Carl, Brooklyn. Gregory, Pittsburgh. Cotton, Oakland. Another numbered card, 2 of 49. Chris Bryant, Chicago Cubs. And original Corey, Cleveland. Cole, Texas. Harry of St. Louis. Ted with Chicago. Don, New York. And Chris Sale, Chicago. And Jordan Patterson, Rockies. So, I'll grab half of this stack. Get rid of this card. We got Stan at St. Louis. And Nolan, the Rockies. Ryan with Milwaukee. Paul with Pittsburgh. Chipper Jones with Atlanta. Freddie Freeman with Atlanta. Another Jose card. Just a different Jose. This will be going to Houston. Who had Houston? Jeffrey. Jeffrey had Houston. So yeah. Alright, moving along. Lopez with Washington. Jake Robinson, Brooklyn Dodgers. Freddie Freeman, Atlanta. Brooks Robinson, Baltimore. Anthony Rizzo, Chicago. Madison Bumgarner, San Francisco. Ty Cobb, Detroit. Lou Garrett, New York. And Jose, Padres. And Jones with Detroit. And Robinson again with the Mariners. Marlins. Mariners. Evan with Tampa Bay. Nat with Cleveland. Mark Trumbo, Baltimore. And George with New York. White card. JD with Detroit. Alex, St. Louis. Ooh. Nah, Glover, Washington. Nellie Fox, Chicago. Jake Elliott, Chicago. Jake Robinson, Brooklyn. Tony with New York. Kurt Schilling with Boston. Jason with Cleveland. Orlando, Milwaukee. Herbie Puckett, Minnesota. Mike Piazza, the Mets. Washington, Cleveland. Larry. Lou, New York. Robinson, Seattle. Albert Pujols, Angels. David, Houston. Josh, Pittsburgh. Tony Gwynn, San Diego. Francisco, Cleveland. Joe Jackson, Chicago. Well, we're down to our last column of cards. White card. White card. Not a white card. Thick card. We'll find out in a little while. Some of these packs feel like they're just about to explode. Some of them almost feel empty. And that's why. And there we go. Last pack is officially open. Wow. Okay, so here we go. We have Joe with Boston, Cespedes with New York Mets, Chris with Baltimore, Gavin with New York, Joe DiMaggio with New York, Jonathan with the Brewers, Chris Davis with Oakland, Stan with St. Louis, Ted Williams with Boston, Jose, Chicago, and Kiki, New York, and Gonzalez with Cleveland, Carson Kelly with St. Louis, Memorial Moment, Jackie Robinson, first career home run, Dodgers, Brooklyn, Chipper Jones, Atlanta, Freddie Freeman, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Francis Franco, Billy with Chicago, and we have an Oakland, Matt Olson, rookie signature. That's going to be 15 of 49. And who had the Oakland? Let's see, Oakland. Jonathan had that. Okay, so New York. Mookie with the Boston, Freddie Freeman with Atlanta, Tommy with New York, Andy with New York, Corey with Cleveland, Kiki with Chicago, Nelson with Seattle, Swanson with Atlanta, Nolan, number card, 4 of 5, Colorado. That might be one of our lowest numbered cards yet. 4 of 5. And who had the Rockies? That would be Jonathan had the Rockies. Okay, moving along. Donaldson with Toronto. Leo with Brooklyn. Will Myers with San Diego. Henny with Cincinnati. Billy with New York. Anthony Rizzo, Chicago. And Jose De Leon Los Angeles, although I think he's been traded. Roberto, Pittsburgh. Oakland, Catfish. Carl, Brooklyn. Nolan with the Rockies. Roberto with Pittsburgh. Edwin, Toronto. Anthony, Washington. Carlson with Chicago. Brad with Arizona. Corey with Cleveland. Daniel Murphy with Washington. John with New York. Josh, Toronto. Gabby with Chicago. Stephen with Washington. Healy with Oakland. Chad, Oakland. Chris Bryant, Chicago. Earl, Cleveland. Craig Biggio, Houston. Ryan Dozier, Minnesota. Pee Wee Reese, Brooklyn Dodgers. And we have some kind of card. Rio, say Atlanta. Anthony Rizzo, Chicago. Joe DiMaggio, New York. Max, Pittsburgh. Carlos, St. Louis. Kyle with Chicago. Jim at New York. And Don Mattingly with New York. That is 5 of 10. 5 of 10. And another enclosed game used material. Sweet card for New York. And it goes to Don R. So we're our last half. Here we go. Brian with Minnesota. Carlson with San Diego. Mitch with Arizona. Jim with Philadelphia. Ernie with Chicago. Albert with the A's. A's, Angels. Larry with Cleveland. Brooks number card right here. Robinson with Baltimore. It's 92 and 99. It's artist proof. Zach, Matt Carpenter, St. Louis. David Dahl with the Rockies. Mr. Seager, Dodgers. Chris Bryant, Chicago. Paul Goldsmith, Arizona Diamondbacks. Grover, Philadelphia. Joe with Chicago. Washington. Minnesota. Miguel. George, Philadelphia. Padres. And New York. Lefty. Kershaw, Dodgers. I believe that's the first Kershaw I've seen so far. Herb Puckett, Minnesota. Billy, Chicago. Francisco, Cleveland. And Nat with Cleveland. Minnesota. Jose, Houston. John Smoke, Braves. Chris Bryant, Chicago. And last card, Herb, New York. Well, that's going to be it for the break. We pulled quite a few nice cards. Let's start off with our artist proof. Hit them up. See, here's Brooke Robinson's, $29.99. Francisco, Cleveland. Go ahead and get them in some penny wraps. And we have a 2 of 49 Chris Bryant, Chicago. 4 of 49 Mitch, Arizona. And Nolan Arenado, 4 of 5. I think that's our lowest numbered card. Got them sleeved up. And let's see who we got now. We'll go to cards with Jose Houston. Pretty nice card. And Ichiro. It's a nice card as well. 22/25 back king. And automatically, it's a pretty nice card. 5/10. New York. Let's see. And our autograph cards. Jersey King, 1/15. Jose. Matt, rookie signature. 15/49. Oakland. And Carson Kelly, another rookie signature. It's 25/49. Well, guys, that ends our break. It's pretty nice cards, I believe we pulled. So I'll have these up on YouTube at some point in time tonight. You all have a nice night, and